In today's video, we do a lore-friendly remaster of GTA 5, from crazy police enhancements, restoring cut content, to a beautiful graphics mods that don't require tons of puddles and rain to make it look good. This video was inspired heavily by Underrated. A lot of his ideas from his amazing video are in this video, plus many more I also wanted to add myself. You can check his video out at the end of this one, where I'll be linking it on the end screen. But I'm going to be using the same graphics mod as Underrated did in his video, VisualV. This mod makes the game look stunning. The lighting's been improved, the weather effects have all been improved, and the game just looks sharper and cleaner. When the sun sets and everything turns to night, the game actually looks dark. Now, if you're navigating dark alleyways in the wrong neighborhood, it actually feels quite tense. Driving down the highway at nighttime has never felt so realistic. How many of you have gone on a late night drive and stopped at a gas station and just sat there and thought that it actually kind of looks really nostalgic? Well, this mod captures that beautifully with this lighting. In my GTA San Andreas remastered video, we decided to add a ton of props to the game, and it made Los Santos look 10 times better. GTA 5 has its own version of this called Remastered and Enhanced. It's a mod that adds thousands of props across Los Santos. Just take a look at Franklin's neighborhood in the original versus the modded version. Now there's tons of trees all over the place and props that populate the side of the roads. Grove Street has never looked so good, and I don't think I ever want to go back or uninstall this mod. Adding props to the world and alleyways and even trash on the floor just makes the world feel a lot more immersive, and it's actually lived in, which is very important when it comes to a Rockstar world. Something that really bugs me about GTA 5 is the lack of trees and vegetation. Of course, because the game was developed on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, well, that is pretty much the answer. But even when Rockstar Games ported the game to next generation and PC, there was still a huge lack of vegetation and trees, and the countryside just doesn't feel very good. Well, that's where Forests of San Andreas comes into play, because this mod adds hundreds of trees across the entire map, particularly around Blaine County and Mount Chiliad. Now, flying across the Alamo Sea, you can see a vast amount of trees covering Mount Chiliad. Flying through the canyon has never felt so immersive. And now you can actually get lost inside the forests. Just look at the comparison of the original versus the modded version and you'll see exactly what I mean. And if you drive long enough, you can even find NPCs doing various activities, like camping. When I was watching Underrated's GTA 5 remaster video, he showed something that when I saw it, I thought I had to add it to my game as well. And that was the desert sand effect mod. Now, in the original version of the game, when driving through the desert, you'll occasionally see this very faint desert blowing sand effect across the road. Now, driving through sandy shores or anywhere in the desert actually feels incredibly realistic. Partnered up with VisualV, our graphics mod that we installed at the start of the video, just take a look at some of these examples here of how good the areas look. I can't believe just how much one mod so simple can transform the game in such a tremendous way. But now driving through sandy shores actually feels like you're in the middle of the desert. Now, something I really like about Grand Theft Auto 4 is its Euphoria physics. Now, believe it or not, GTA 5 also has the same physics engine, only toned down a lot. And there are rumours as to why this is, but luckily with a mod we can add back the similar Euphoria physics effect that we had in GTA 4 to GTA 5. Now gunfights actually feel like your bullets are doing damage, and NPCs actually react realistically to the shots that you're placing on them.
Lame ass bitch. Oh, jeez. It's on now.
You see, when an NPC gets shot, they'll actually try and stabilize themselves and balance before ultimately falling on the ground, resulting in a much more realistic looking animation than what we have in the final game. Speaking of which, there's something I really hate about GTA 5, and that's the fact that when you shoot people, they'll go into this stupid animation on the floor, and it's the same for every single character. It completely ruins the immersion. Luckily, there's a mod we can install that completely removes this effect. Now, finally, when you shoot people, they don't have this stupid animation of being on the floor. And the only animation they do have is the last stand one, where they sit upright and then try and take you out. The realistic weapon sounds mod takes all the existing sound effects of the weapons and makes them sound really realistic. completely changes the environment around you when other people are shooting as well. Firefights with police have never felt so tense, and just take a look at some of these clips here just to get an idea of what I mean. But I also wanted to overhaul the police sirens as well, to make them sound a bit more realistic. And that's where the Realistic Sirens mod comes into play, now adding sirens that actually sound like the ones you'd find in the state of California. In Underrated's video, he added a mod called RDE, Rebalanced Dispatch Enhanced. But there's a few things about this mod that I want to go a bit further in depth and show you guys just how good this mod actually is. This is a 1.4 GB mod, adding hundreds of new features to the game, from skins all the way to vehicles and features. This is a complete overhaul of the wanted level system in GTA 5. First of all, you can now get 6 stars, not just 5. But it doesn't just stop there. Once you've hit 6 stars, your wanted level will turn progressively more red. And the more red it gets, the harder the wanted level is. Each district in the game now has its own police force, from sheriffs to downtown police. You'll even see undercover cops as well. You'll see a small dog icon on the map, at 2 and 3 stars. Now this is a K9 police unit that will chase you down and attack you and bring you down if you don't evade it. I thought this was a really cool feature. Police no longer now know exactly where you are at all given times. You can now actually evade them and hide down alleyways and watch them as they speed past. And hundreds of new skins have been added. You'll even see female police officers deployed in the world that can actually come after you. The FIB, the Noose and the Army all have brand new skins. And depending on what vehicle you're in and how much chaos you've caused, they will eventually all be sent after you, even airdropping out of a cargo bob and arriving in their own APCs, and if you cause enough chaos, you can even get a hunter attack helicopter with missiles to come after you. A feature I really like is if you're in a police chase at night with a helicopter, you can see the red dot sight being aimed at you. And they'll even set up advanced roadblocks, and you can even see news stations reporting on the carnage that you're causing throughout the city. This is an absolutely incredible mod. It also overhauls the way the police actually act. They won't shoot at you necessarily unless you shoot them first. They'll also pit maneuver you under certain circumstances, and everything just feels a lot more realistic. It's really awesome, but I understand why some people might not want to add this to their remaster project, because it's technically not really enhancing anything that existed in the game, it's adding completely new ones. But it's definitely really awesome and changes the gameplay altogether. Now, surviving a wanted level is actually a challenge. The realistic traffic and peds mod makes it so that during the daytime the roads are busy and filled with people, but at night it's quiet, just like in real life. I think this adds to the immersion, and it was definitely something I wanted to add to the game. There's also tons of interiors that Rockstar Games added for missions and so on, but don't let us access in free mode. Luckily, with this mod, Open All Interiors, you can now finally just walk on into any of your favourite interiors featured in missions throughout the storyline. I also even added a burger shop, because I noticed that the burger shot in the original game isn't accessible, so now you finally have a working restaurant with pedestrians sitting at the tables and eating food. Sadly, you can't order any food yourself. I hope Underrated doesn't mind me literally taking a lot of his ideas and putting it into this video, although I did add my own features. But I do really want to give him a shout out, so click the video on the screen now to go and watch his video, and I think he deserves it 100%. He's obviously on the road to 5,000 subscribers at the moment. Is his next big milestone, so it'd be nice if some of you guys could help him reach that, and I'll see you guys in another video. Adios.